Welcome guys, my name is Albert and in today's video we have a very special video. This is a millionaire telling us how he tested a girl that he was dating, okay? I believe this is a very important video for us to be able to break down and really understand why it is important that you need to test the women that you are putting time into. Okay, if this is your first time, guys, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. Do me a huge solid, hit this video with a like. It really helps us in the YouTube algorithm. Okay, guys, let's jump right into this video. As this video is going to be playing, I'm going to be giving you guys my insight into what he's saying and what I agree with, right? So we can better fully understand his argument and his discussion on this topic. Okay, so let's actually go ahead and play. By the way, this millionaire's name is Patrick Bet Davis.
Pat is a guy who is an extremely successful man. A lot of people will show things on social media, but Patrick, hands down, successful man that you cannot deny. So one of the questions that people always ask is, what is the incentive of a very successful, especially financially successful man to settle down and get married? So I'm very curious about, from your personal perspective, as a man who was...
Now, I'll say this. From my perspective, I don't think you should get married. But then again, it's your choice, it's your life. Because if you guys didn't hear, Dr. Dre, that was married to his wife for 24 years, right? He had a prenup in place, and his wife still was able to get $3.5 million in spousal support every year. So what is the benefit for you? I don't know, right? Do with that information what you will. Let's continue.
Being successful, who had an onward trajectory, who was doing so well, what made you decide to get married?
The risk is very high, by the way, to get married. You know, for me, when I was 28, I had made a decision I'm never going to get married. I'm staying single. And my assistant, very good friend of mine at that time, Sandra, Patty, said, why don't you go read this book, 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged, by Norman Wright. So I read the book. When I read the book, I'm like, interesting. I was talking to 4 girls at the time. I said, why don't you guys read this book as well and see how you feel about it? So they did. I'm like, I could never be with you. You and I would never work out. But I asked the one question, why get married? There's way too much risk to it.
Do you see what he did there? Very important question. He was dating 4 girls and he had to vet them, right? Very important, right? When choosing, I know there's some people, no matter what I say, they are still going to get married, right? Or they're still going to get a girlfriend. Or if you are going to deal with a girl long term, right, you need to understand what questions you need to be asking them. Make sure that you're coming up with ways to test the girls that you are dealing with. I mean, you don't necessarily say, I am testing you, but put them in situations where you can really see what their characters are. Okay, let's continue.
So then I sat there and said, well, you have somebody to come home to every night. You can still have somebody to come home to if you're single. Matter of fact, you can have options. Yeah. If you know what I mean? When you have the money, you can do whatever you want to do with that.
True.
Yeah, but tax benefits, I don't care about that. I can move to another state and get better tax benefits. It's somebody that it's somebody that can help you. It's somebody that can do this. Not there yet. And then it goes to, okay, look, you can make all the money in the world. Then what? Like, what leaves you? A book? Yeah, they say the Jewish proverb says there's 3 things every man should do. Write a book, plant a tree, have a son. Why? Because they all outlive you. We as men want to live thousands of years. The only way you're going to live thousands of years is by the value you bring to the world that's documented, is by giving back to, and I know the tree is what they're saying with tree, not even tree today, because a tree is being cut down and turned into paper. It's a business model, not right. But it's family, it's blood. And when you see your kid and you find somebody to build a family with that's a good partner, meshes with you, good personality, you sit there and say, okay, great, this looks good. We can actually pull this off. Then there's value for it. But I'm going to tell you something here right now. Basic rules about getting married today. If I'm a man, I'm not getting married before 30 at all. I would.
Very important. Guys, very important. in your 20s, you need to be working towards your purpose. Don't even think about getting married or getting a girlfriend. Look, one of the biggest things that I did that really hampered me as a young man was getting into multiple relationships in my 20s. Forget the BS of, oh, you need to get a girlfriend. No, in your 20s, you need to be working towards your financial future. Date around, date multiple women, but getting a girlfriend that you are committed to long term, never in your 20s. It will hamper your growth greatly.
Would not even think about getting married pre-30. A lot of people argue with me. You don't know what you're talking about. I got married at 22 years old and I'm happily married. I'm 62. 22, 62, that was 40 years ago. That means the 80s.
Yeah.
You didn't have social media, you didn't have Snapchat, you didn't have Tinder, you don't have accessibility to what's out there today.
True.
Accessibility to sex today is so easy.
True.
The ability to be tempted today and screw up is so easy.
True.
The ability to screw up and make a royally, publicly humiliating mistake today is very high. And ain't no man walk on water. Okay? And no man walks on water. Everybody sees and says, oh my gosh, oh, she's beautiful, but I'm married. There's nobody that's perfect to say, oh, I don't have to worry about the mistakes I'm going to make. The risk is high today. The reward is not as high as it used to be. Because at least back in the days, back in the days, say you and your wife got into a fight 20 years ago. You got a 30-minute drive, okay? And at the office you talk to her. Well, I'm going to come home and talk to you tonight. You got 30 minutes to calm down by the time you come home. Today, if you get into a fight, instantly, that second, what you want to say, you say. So you fan, scar. It's just like, dude, I'm so done with this marriage. So today, we have too much of the opportunity to react instantly. There's too much instant reaction. And, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. That fight is too instant. So those are all scarred.
Basically, what he's saying is that marriages right now, in the modern day society, the way it's set up, and just because it's in the environment that we're in, it's not conducive to actually prolonging marriages to like having a long-term marriage. Just like you said, women have too many options today, right? They have too many options. Social media, right? Dating sites, too many options. What is her incentive with staying with you when she's mad at you? And like you said, in marriages, no matter how much you vet a girl, there's gonna be problems. There is going to be problems, right? All you just need is one time. There is a huge fight. She goes into her DM, sees that guy that has been trying to hang out with her. She's like, you know what? I'm done with this marriage. I'm better off going and sleeping with this guy on my Instagram, taking half of my husband's money. Right? There is just too many variables why you shouldn't be thinking about marriage, especially in our modern times, right? But let's continue.
Scars that you leave it on each other, right? And eventually, after all the scars you get, it's like, I just have no desire to do anything with you in bed anymore. I really don't. I'm good. You're facing this way. She's facing that way. So it has to be built on the right values and principles. It has to be somebody that you date for some time and you see all the dark side of them and yourself to see if you can do this or not. Preferably a referral that's coming through somebody instead of cold. I knew my wife 5.5 years before we got married. She knew my flaws, I knew her flaws. Oh yeah, she dated other guys, I dated other girls, and eventually we said, let's see what can happen here, and we build a family together. You have to create certain criterias before you, and when you get married, watch the fights, watch the arguments, watch how people argue. I remember one time my wife, we were dating, and
now this is the test that I wanted us to really dive into right now.
She is about to lose financially. She wasn't in the best of place at that time. Certain, challenges took place. She was in a mortgage real estate business. And 1 month, she calls, we've been together for 3 months. She says, this month, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I'm like, ooh, okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
She said, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I'm like, really? Yeah. What are you thinking you're going to do? I don't know. What do you think I should do? I said, well, number one, I would go return your BMW that you have. That's $850 a month car payment, white convertible. I'd go return that and say, can't pay the payment anymore. What else would you do? Number two, I'd go back and I would get a Nissan Sentra, $200 a month. That saves you $600 a month. Okay, what else would you do? I'd go back, and I know you're doing insurance and real estate right now. I'd go back and get your old job where you worked to give you a good ship where they can pay you $40,000, that at least covers your, what do you call it, expenses. What else would you do? Boom, boom, boom. I said what I said. And she says, okay. I said, what do you mean? Let's go return the car. I said, you sure? That day, we drove to BMW. She returned her car. Then we drove up to Centra. She got the Centra. Then she went back to her job and she got a job. And I said, never once did she say, can you lend me $1,250? Not one time. So to me, that was like, okay, because my biggest concern was, oh, I have money, so you're kind of trying to.
Yeah.
Never did that. And I said, she has no clue. She just passed an incredible test for us, right?
Yeah.
So
And we're going to stop it right there, right? If you want to watch the whole video, I'll try and remember to leave a link in the description box below. There's two things there, right? Two things there that really we have to really key in. What he really tested there wasn't the fact that he told her to do this or do that. Yeah, that's part of it. The test there was, is she going to follow my leadership? That is the number one test that you have to test every woman that you deal with. You have to test to see, is she going to follow my leadership? Or is she going to just put me to the side? Because that's how you know a woman that you're dealing with is respecting you, right? That's how you know that the woman that you're dealing is going to respect you. You give her advice and she actually follows it, not the way she wants it, to the letter. Now, I have to say a caveat. You have to be the kind of guy that has made the right choices in his life. Remember, he's a millionaire, right? He's a millionaire. He's doing well for himself. You can't be some bum on the street and expect that the woman you're dealing with is going to respect your leadership, right? Because if she follows you and you're a bum, she's going to get the same results that you're going to get. That's number one. She was able to follow his leadership. Number two, very important, she did not ask for handouts. Even though she knew that this guy had money, she did not ask for handouts. Those two things. When a woman that you're dealing with does these two things, then you know that she's somebody that you can invest more time into. This is somebody that you're not wasting your time with, right? But remember, you have to keep testing women. You just have to keep on testing because they will change as soon as you get comfortable with them. Remember, test her to see if she will follow your lead, and test her to see if she's going to come to you to ask you to bail her out when she is in a money crisis. Because trust me, women are always in money crisis. And if she's the kind of girl that's always coming to you to ask you to bail her out of her problems, trust me, it is going to get worse down the road. Guys, that is the video for today. If you have not already, guys, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. Guys, remember, you are 100% responsible for everything in and out of your life, okay? So make the right choices, okay? With that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.